And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
There's a lot of stuff that came out for Galaxy Trucker, a game in which you built a spaceship and then watched it get blown apart. They had a big expansion and then another big expansion, and there was some small stuff. And now there's another small expansion called the Missions expansion. This adds missions and a lot of negative stuff, but rewards if you deal with the negative stuff. It's a small expansion and it actually is compatible with the other expansions. Some of the stuff in here you'll take out and there's rules how to use it. But even if you have just the base game, you can easily add this to your set. Let's take a look at what's in this expansion. So what this game really does is it changes it by adding missions. So you can draw several different missions. You can pick between, like you can draw 3 and pick them. The game, essentially, you start with 20 credits, which is more than you normally start with. You don't have to play 1, 2, and 3 in this. You can just play through these missions. But each mission has like some special rules, and this is the guy giving you the mission. So there's some fluff here. Up here it might tell you some things that you need from this set for the mission. And then it tells you the special rules. So for example here, cannons above row 7 are half their strength. Engines below row 7 don't work. And on row 7 itself, everything works fine. And then the reward for the best looking ship is tripled. So this one just kind of messes with how your ship looks. This one here uses a bunch of the new components that come with the set. We'll talk about that later. And then if you use those components, you'll get extra rewards while there's different penalties. So there's many different ones. Many of them use the different things that come in this set. Some of them use the new cards that come in here. And all of them are going to really just change how the game itself is played. Having kind of a different setup, having different rewards, and then there's variants if you want to add them in. Like for example here, this one simply is carry the heavy cargo. And if you don't carry it, you're going to lose 5. But if you do carry it, for each one you carry, you're going to get more money. So let's take a look at some of these new components in the game. The new components have a purple back, so even when you mix them with the regular components, you can see that these special components are here. Now these components are almost all negative. They do negative things to your ship, but you might want to put them in a ship because of the mission itself, because you get points for carrying them. However, they can have a negative effect. Take, for example, the explosive cargo. That's this one here. When this one gets hit, then it blows up itself and everything around it, which in this case would be the entire ship, and I would hope that you wouldn't put it in the middle of your ship like that. Also, I should mention here that I know these ships aren't built perfectly correctly. I'm just showing you how the new stuff works. Fragile cargo here is kind of like the counterpart to the explosive cargo. Fragile cargo basically says if anything next to it's destroyed. So if this one gets destroyed, then so does the fragile cargo. It's very easy to get rid of it. Heavy cargo is actually slightly good in the fact that if it's hit in the side where it does not have a cargo, it's not going to take damage. Well, hooray! The problem is that you add the numbers of the heavy cargo and subtract those from your engines when determining movement. So you can see this ship here, which has 2 engines, and that's 2, then -7, -5. That's pretty bad. So, but again, you saw that one mission where carrying heavy cargo can get you a lot of points. The problem is you're going to need a lot of engines to be able to carry it also. Radioactive tokens, first of all, you're not allowed to put 2 of them next to each other. Okay, that's just illegal. Secondly, a radioactive token affects everything around it, and there can be no crew, so this would have no crew in it, and no battery tokens. Cargo's okay, and some other robots are okay if you're using that expansion. Other than that, though, they kind of mess up everything around them. Alien artifacts are cool looking, and you're going to want those for some missions, but the problem is everything in its whole row or whole column is a dead zone. So all these tiles do not work. It doesn't matter, they can't carry cargo, doesn't have anything. The only thing that does work is the indestructible plating, and that's basically it. So, and the connectors obviously work, but you can have 2 artifacts. You got to be careful because it depends which way your artifacts go. They can shut down a whole row or a whole column. There are also these super cards. These are used in some missions. They're shuffled in, and you can see that they're here. They're just really, really nasty cards. Like, for example, here's a meteor shower, which is going to hit every single point on the ship. So you're going to have to test your entire ship out on a meteor shower. Or a meteor alert. This gets more powerful, these large meteorites, depending on what level ship you're is. So you can see on level 1, you're going to get hit by 2, and then on level 2, a third one's at it, and so on and so forth. A black hole, you better have engines or your ship is going to get destroyed. You need to have a lot of engines, and again, this one changes based on what level your ship is. A pirate fleet, again, this gets more powerful depending on what level your ship is. A robber fleet, they'll do different things. A tactical zone, whoever has the best in different areas, although this is going to check multiple areas. Very big negative events like corrosive dust or radiation burst, or if you're using the even bigger expansion, then the robo police can invade you. So there's all sorts of, these are kind of really nasty events that will happen to you. Honestly, I really do like the big expansions. I like a big expansion and another big expansion. They both add a lot of stuff to the game. But I have to say, I think I like this one almost as much because I really like the new stuff. Like, I don't want to put these explosives on my ship. Fine, though, I get extra points for taking them, or I have to take them on this one. So I'm going to stick them here in the corner and hope it doesn't explode. All right, fine, a stupid alien artifact takes out a whole row. Where am I going to put that? And I like this negative stuff there, because you want to put the negative stuff on your ship, but it hurts you. Those new super events, well, they're deadly. They're nasty. Normally when I'm playing Galaxy Trucker, I don't always look at the cards. I'm too busy building my ship. But when these are in the deck, I do try to look at them because I need to know what's coming. Is it going to be a whole storm of asteroids? Which side's it going to come from? I need to make sure there's no exposed connectors on that side. Do I need, there's going to be that dust thing. So this is for experienced players, of course. This is not something I would ever play with new people. There's a lot of stuff going on here. But it's easy to keep this one separate. I like that I keep all the purple tiles in another bag. I like the missions. You can add or subtract those. I like how it works with the other expansions, but also works with the base game. Is this a must-have? Well, if you like Galaxy Trucker, sure. Would I get this expansion first? I might get a big expansion first, but I do like this one. I think I get this one before another big expansion. It's simple. It's easy to add in. It's easy to explain. You don't have to show all the different rules. They're pretty obvious. This one blows things up. This one gets blown up. Radiation. They're all those negative things. And also you can just talk about each tile depending on the mission that you're playing. It also adds more humor to the game and more destructiveness, which some people hate, but those people aren't even watching this review. For those of you who like to see your ship get blown up into a million pieces, this one will do it again and more. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!